Hi, I'm Zoe. I've always been the family fixer, the one who steps in when things get messy. Maybe that's why I became a social worker. Can't help but try to make things right. But nothing prepared me for what was happening in my own family. My niece Emma and I have this special bond. Ever since she was little, she'd run to me with her problems instead of her mom. At first, I thought it was cute, the cool aunt thing. But as Emma turned 15, I started noticing it wasn't just about being cool. It was about being safe. Aunt Zoe, can I stay at your place this weekend? Emma asked during our monthly lunch date at her favorite diner. Your mom okay with that? I sipped my coffee, watching her fidget with her straw wrapper. She won't care. She's taking Ethan to his baseball tournament anyway. The way she said it, flat, resigned, made my stomach tighten. My sister Melissa had always been particular, but the way she treated Emma versus her 12-year-old son Ethan was like night and day. Last Christmas still haunted me. Ethan got a brand new phone, gaming system, and expensive sneakers. Emma got practical clothes and a lecture about being grateful. I'd seen Emma's face crumple before she forced a smile. Of course you can stay, I said. But maybe I should call Melissa first. Emma's eyes widened. Please don't make it a thing. She'll just say I'm being dramatic again. That weekend, I picked up Emma from school. Melissa hadn't even bothered to say goodbye before leaving with Ethan. When we got to my apartment, Emma finally relaxed, her shoulders dropping as she flopped onto my couch. You know you can talk to me about anything, right? I said, sitting beside her. Emma nodded, but didn't meet my eyes. It's nothing new. Mom just wishes I wasn't around. The bluntness of it shocked me. That can't be true. You've seen how she is with Ethan. He's her real kid. I'm just there. I tried calling Melissa that night, but she brushed me off. Emma's always exaggerating. She's a teenager, Zoe. They're all dramatic. When I brought it up to my brother-in-law Mark at Sunday dinner the following week, he just stared at his plate. I'm handling it, he mumbled, glancing nervously at Melissa across the room. By doing nothing? I pressed. It's complicated, Mark said, then excused himself. My parents were no better. When I cornered them in their kitchen, Dad shook his head. Robert, tell her to drop it, Mom said, aggressively drying a dish. Patricia's right, Dad sighed. Every family has its issues. Melissa's just stricter with Emma. Different kids need different parenting. Stricter? She basically ignores her existence except to criticize her. Stay out of it, Zoe, Mom warned. You don't have children. You don't understand. I was seething as I drove home. Something wasn't right, and nobody wanted to acknowledge it. Emma was withdrawing more each day, her grades dropping, her friends disappearing, her smile becoming rare. 2 weeks later, my phone rang at 1:43 a.m. Aunt Zoe! Emma's voice was shaking. Can you come get me? What happened? Mom said... Her voice broke. She said she wished I'd never been born, that I ruined everything. I was already grabbing my keys. I'm on my way. I drove like a maniac to Melissa's house, finding Emma sitting on the curb, backpack clutched to her chest. Her eyes were red and puffy when she climbed into my car. I can't go back there, Emma whispered as we pulled away. Not tonight. You don't have to. I squeezed her hand. But I need to know what's really going on. The next morning, after getting Emma settled at my place, I stormed into Melissa's house without knocking. She was in the kitchen, making pancakes for Ethan. Who do you think you are, taking Emma without permission? Melissa slammed the spatula down. Who do you think you are, telling your daughter you wish she wasn't born? Ethan looked up from his plate, eyes wide. Melissa pointed toward the living room. Not in front of my son. Funny how you only care about one of your children. Once in the living room, Melissa got in my face. You have no right to judge my parenting. You've always been so perfect, haven't you? Miss Social Worker swooping in to save the day? This isn't about me. Something's wrong here, and I'm going to figure it out. Melissa's face changed, something like fear flickering across it. Stay out of my business, or you'll never see Emma again. I'm her mother. I decide who she spends time with. We'll see about that. Later that week, I went to Mark's office during his lunch break. He looked startled when I walked in. Zoe, what are you doing here? We need to talk about Emma, about why Melissa treats her like she's the enemy. Mark loosened his tie, not meeting my eyes. My wife loves both our children. Cut the crap, Mark. I've known you for 15 years. You're a terrible liar. Look, every marriage has its complications. He started rearranging items on his desk. Sometimes we make choices, and then we have to live with them. What choices? What are you talking about? I've said too much. He stood up abruptly. You need to go. Please, Zoe, for everyone's sake, let this go. His reaction only made me more determined. That weekend, I volunteered to help Mom and Dad digitize old family photos. While they were out for lunch, I dug deeper into the albums. Something wasn't adding up. There were plenty of photos of pregnant Melissa with Ethan, her hand lovingly on her belly. But with Emma, nothing. The earliest photos showed a tiny newborn, but Melissa was nowhere in them. Just Mark looking exhausted and shell-shocked. I started comparing dates. According to family lore, Emma was born after a difficult pregnancy, but Melissa had posted vacation photos from Cancun just 2 months before Emma's birth. No pregnant belly in sight. While working a shift at the hospital the next day, I called in a favor from my friend in records. I need to check something, Tina. My niece's birth certificate. There might be a medical history issue. Tina hesitated. That's pushing ethical boundaries, Zoe. Please, it's important. 20 minutes later, Tina slipped me a folder. I never gave you this. The birth certificate listed Mark as the father, but the mother's name wasn't Melissa. It was Catherine Wilson. My head was spinning when Uncle James cornered me in the hospital parking lot that evening. Your parents called me, said you were asking questions. Uncle James had always been the family patriarch, the one who fixed problems with his money and influence. Who's Catherine Wilson, Uncle James? His face hardened. Leave well enough alone, Zoe. Some secrets protect people. They're destroying Emma. That's not your call to make. He stepped closer. Family business stays in the family. When I got home, my parents were waiting at my door. What have you done? Dad looked panicked. Found the truth you've all been hiding. Mom grabbed my arm. You don't understand what you could unleash. I understand enough. Emma deserves better than all of you. I invited my parents inside, slamming the door behind them. My hands were shaking as I tossed the birth certificate onto the coffee table. Explain this. Now. Mom sank onto my couch, while Dad paced nervously. We were trying to protect everyone, Mom whispered. Protect who? Certainly not Emma. Dad finally stopped pacing. It was 15 years ago. Mark had an indiscretion. An affair, I corrected. Call it what it was. Yes, Mom admitted. With his assistant, Catherine. When she got pregnant, Mark panicked. He was going to leave Melissa, Dad continued. But then Catherine had complications during delivery. She didn't make it. The pieces started falling into place. So, suddenly, Mark had a baby and no mother. Melissa was devastated by the affair, Mom said. She just found out they couldn't have children naturally. The timing was convenient? My voice dripped with disgust. Uncle James suggested a solution, Dad explained. Melissa would pretend the baby was hers, adopt her legally. No one would know. And what about Catherine's family? Mom looked away. She was alone. No parents, no siblings. So you erased her, and Melissa has been punishing an innocent child for 15 years because of Mark's mistake. Melissa agreed to raise her, Dad insisted. She just couldn't love her the way she wanted to. I grabbed my keys. I'm going to talk to Uncle James. Zoe, please, Mom begged. This could ruin everything. It already has. I found Uncle James at his country club, casually playing cards like he hadn't helped orchestrate a massive family deception. Catherine Wilson, I said, sitting across from him. Tell me everything. His friends excused themselves as James glared at me. Not here. In his private office, he poured himself a whiskey. Your parents talked, I see. You made this happen. You forced Melissa to raise Emma. I gave them options. Our family has a reputation in this town. Mark made a mistake, but it didn't have to destroy multiple lives. It destroyed Emma's life. She's been emotionally abused for years. James waved dismissively. Dramatic as always. Melissa provided for her. Food and shelter isn't the same as love. Look, when Catherine died, it was complicated. There would have been questions, investigations. Mark could have lost his partnership. Your sister would have been humiliated. So instead, a child grows up feeling worthless. Great solution. What do you want from me? James snapped. The truth. Every detail. Surprisingly, he gave it to me. After Catherine died, James had used his connections to fast-track adoption papers. He'd buried Catherine's medical records. He'd even paid off hospital staff to keep quiet. And Ethan? I asked. Fertility treatments. Very expensive ones I paid for. My gift to them after they took in Emma. I left feeling sick. That night, I couldn't sleep. Emma deserved to know why her mother had treated her with such coldness her entire life. Over the next week, I gathered everything. The birth certificate, hospital records. I recorded conversations with my parents. I even found old emails between Mark and Catherine saved on a family computer Dad had kept in storage. The annual family reunion was in 3 days. Everyone would be there. Aunts, uncles, cousins. The perfect audience for the perfect family's perfect lie. I called Emma. Hey, I need you at the reunion this weekend. I hate those things. Mom always parades Ethan around like a trophy while I'm invisible. Trust me, this year will be different. Everything's going to change. What are you planning? Justice. The family reunion buzzed at Uncle James's lakeside mansion. I arrived with Emma, who clutched my hand nervously. Melissa showcased Ethan near the buffet while Mark played grill master. I clinked my glass after lunch when everyone gathered on the deck. To family. And to truth. I connected my laptop to the projector. The first slide appeared. Catherine Wilson's photo beside Emma's. Their resemblance unmistakable. What the hell? Melissa paled. This is Catherine Wilson, Emma's real mother. Chaos erupted. Mark dropped his drink. James lunged for my laptop. 15 years ago, Mark had an affair with his assistant. She died, giving birth to Emma. That's enough! James shouted. No, it's not. I displayed the birth certificate. This family forced Melissa to raise her husband's affair baby. For 15 years, Emma has suffered. Is this true? Emma's voice cut through the noise. Mark's silence answered everything. You all knew except me? My cousin Sarah approached her. I had no idea, sweetie. Some of us did, Aunt Beverly admitted, glaring at James. We were told to keep quiet. You have no right, Melissa hissed. And you had no right to punish an innocent child. I played James's confession. I never wanted her, Melissa spat. They made me take her. Pain crossed Emma's face, mixed with understanding. Finally knowing why. 3 weeks later, Mark's law partners requested his leave of absence. Melissa was quietly removed from her charity board after Emma's therapy records circulated. Uncle James resigned from the country club when friends stopped acknowledging him. Court date is Tuesday, I told Emma as we painted her new bedroom. The judge already reviewed the guardian petition. Will they fight it? Melissa already signed. She doesn't want a court battle. Mark wants visitation. Emma dipped her brush. I don't want to see him. Then you won't. Not now. Not ever. 2 months later, Mark sent birthday flowers. We donated them to a nursing home. Melissa sent a card with a check. Emma ripped it up. My parents tried calling weekly. I blocked their numbers. Do you think I'll ever forgive them? Emma asked one night. That's entirely up to you, but you don't owe them anything. I keep thinking about Catherine. Would she have loved me? I know she would have. Now you know why you never fit in that house. You weren't meant to. You were meant to be here. Emma smiled genuinely. I like our family better. Just us. Me too, kid. Me too. Would you have exposed the family secret like Zoe did, knowing it would destroy relationships forever, or kept it hidden to maintain family peace? Was she right to reject all attempts at reconciliation? Or should some family bonds be preserved no matter what? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to know what you would have done in Zoe's position. If this story resonated with you, please hit that like button and subscribe for more compelling stories about family secrets, justice, and standing up for what's right. New stories every day.